What's up, guys? Welcome to Crypto Cartel, where we do live TA every Monday through Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Today, we're going to look at what seems to be a pretty big sell off. Is the election rally over? We're going to take a look. And the AI meme coin frenzy continues. We got a good list of AI meme coins here, and we're trying to find the next GOAT. I think we called GOAT last week at 200 million. So if you had watched last week, probably up on that and a couple other good AI meme coin calls that we had. So we're gonna see and see if we could continue to find gains. So with that said, Alex, go ahead and take over. How's Bitcoin looking?
Awesome. Yeah. So, we did break out. I think a few days ago over the weekend, we were looking really good, but we did have some bearish divergence overall. I know that you did mention that potential pullback. You did say that the market was very bullish, and everyone was getting very horny, and so
I told you,
there's
I told you, people were way too horny. They needed to be punished.
And then, it's still pretty healthy pullback, to be honest. We are still making higher highs. We're down about 3,000, or maybe, yeah, we're about down 3,000. So 4% over the last few days. Overall, again, still bullish. We are respecting this, but this was a nice sell off to be able to enter on, into your alts, depending on if, you're going to add in or not. But again, this is crucial. Another thing that I was looking at earlier today is a potential of a 63,000, right? And just because we have this one trend that we build, but now there's this other one that we could maybe uh, touch, right, before we continue to the upside. Right now we're recovering pretty nicely on Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean overall it's looking good. A lot of bullish divergence since Monday, right? So in 2 days, we've just been building bullish divergence, right? We've been making here lower lows, but the RSI, we've been making higher highs. So I think this looks like some sort of reversal here. But anyway, in the case that we don't reverse here, in the case that, for example, let me paint a picture for you here. In the case that we were doing a shoulder head, right, shoulder here, and then we just come and just retest this area here, which looks like we already did, but we could just kind of fake people out. Then we may be looking at potential downside, maybe lower. So back down to the 64 range. I mean, it goes right on that, right? And I guess it would make sense because we really haven't touched the support region, right? We just waked, and we continue to go up, but we never got to all the way down here. So, something to think about. But this is the new trend I'm looking at for now, right? We're almost kind of building one. We hit one, we hit another one, we ripped, and then right now we're ripping. But we could potentially see something, November, maybe wick all the way down to 62, depending on the election, and then we'll go from there. But I like this new trend line. If we hit it, I'll probably take a leverage long to the upside on this one and potentially on other alts. So that's a wrap up for Bitcoin in the shorter time frame. In the bigger time frame, let's look at the daily.
You think we go down to 64 after we already went down to 65?
No, I would say like 62, 60. Yeah, I would say the 62 area. So we
That's
probably go
even
down
worse.
to, what's that?
That's even worse.
I mean, like I said, if we continue to stay on this trend, I'm still bullish. So it's not bad. And then, worst comes to shove, we come all the way down to 58, 59. I'm still bullish because we have another trend that's building, right? And then on the daily, we're above. If you look at the 21 MA, we're actually, but we just crossed the 200 MA, right? So that's pretty bullish overall. Bullish signs. We can just go sideways and then continue to rip, maybe consolidate. But again, until these levels break, I'm still bullish. Short term, it makes sense. Again with the possible volatility of elections, we could maybe see some downside or not. But I think this is a pretty good range to keep an eye on since we've been there in the past. But like I said, I doubt it unless we have Camelo winning, then might dump on that. So
Well,
go ahead.
next week we got some potential volatility. I think we have FOMC. We have some macro
Oh, there you go.
updates.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if it was CPI. Something macro is being updated next week. So it's the rates. I mean, we talked about it yesterday. I think like rates and the dollar have basically been putting pressure on risk assets.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, volatility is definitely something to keep an eye out on. But other than that, I mean, again, to me, Total 3 is still looking bullish in a consolidation here. Is a rising wedge, which means that we could break out, right, at any time. We've seen this with Fartcoin. We've seen this with GOAT. We've seen this with multiple coins, right? They'll just go ahead, hover, resistance, and overall, then the breakout comes out. Because again, we've already broken out of Total 3. This is a clear breakout retest, and we pumped, right? So that's what we have for that. Let's see. Yeah, that's all we have. Do you have anything to add for Total 3 or Bitcoin?
Let's take a look. I haven't looked at it today, but I don't think much has changed. Let me know if you see my screen.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, so I think similar to you, I got this 63.3K level mapped out. It is a bit concerning to get some acceptance like back in this trend, and you want to definitely see like not spend too much time back in this channel, because if we do and if we lose this 63, which I don't even know if we're gonna get all the way down there, but if we don't, if we get like just a bounce like that and then back under it, that would be very bearish. But not anything like this is my base case. So, just something to keep an eye on. And another scenario that I had mapped out is just this I forget what they call this, just like a megaphone type of pattern, right? And there's just a lot of going on right now with wars, and of course there's always bad news, always a black swan could come up, but this is something I'm definitely keeping an eye on, especially if we start to lose like the monthly open. But my base case is we bounce at like 63. Maybe it gets front ran. Maybe today, that's what today was. If we zoom in, we sold off pretty heavily here to 65, which, but the thing is, there's no support around here too, right? Like you don't have support. It's basically trying to put in a higher low at this point. I guess you kind of have support here at the 65. So yeah, exactly where it bounced basically. So I'd say like this is the new important support that needs to hold. Basically from 65 to 63. I'd say like above that, I'm pretty bullish. And once you get below 63, I think this next, bottom part of the channel is in play. But that's not my base case. I think we bounce around here. Now, one thing I was noticing is Sol. You can see it's one of the few green ones. It's up 5% versus Bitcoin. So I think Sol is really starting to show a little bit like a risk on in the market. Like ETH BTC used to be like a proxy for risk on last cycle, and I think that's what Sol BTC is kind of becoming. And if you think of Sol, it is like the preferred casino chip in the casino that is meme coins, right? And I took a long here already, but I think we may just get into price discovery soon for Sol versus not price discovery, but maybe towards these old all-time highs. But it's gotten rejected here several times, so we have to see how things go. But it's got a little bit more juice here before it gets to resistance. And then if you look at it versus ETH is just getting pummeled by Sol. Same type of pattern we've been seeing everywhere, right? This rising triangle with the horizontal line here that gets broken pretty forcefully. And yeah, Sol ETH new all time highs. So from a fundamentals case, there's really no reason to be long ETH over Sol, and Sol's got more on-chain volume. It's beating ETH in a lot of metrics, and it's still like what 25%, 35% of ETH's market cap. So I think the market kind of showing its hand there a bit. That even though we're getting a little bit of a pullback in Bitcoin and Ethereum, Sol, the preferred casino chip, is up 30% or 19% over the last 30 days and up today. I think it's a big sign of things to come. But yeah, so Sol is at an 80 million market cap. You got ETH at 300 billion. So it's 80 billion and 300 billion. So I think Sol, its run is just starting, in my opinion. I think you're going to see a similar run to kind of like what ETH did last cycle, where it went from basically ETH never really consolidated like Sol did, but I think we're maybe when ETH was at 1,000, this feels like a similar spot to Sol being at what it is now. So if we take a look at Sol USD, it's oh yeah, I had put a note here. I'm supposed to be taking profit and rotating, but I'm just gonna let it ride.
Damn, not listening to your calls, man.
Well, if I was gonna rotate to higher beta stuff.
Yeah, but actually, Sol is not looking bad, man. I mean, what you just said right now is a really good point. Also, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to see a 1,000 Solana this run. Like
Exactly.
It's almost bound to happen.
So I had this blue line marked out as a key level, and I think we could maybe see some rejection here. If it were to break here with no rejection, that'd be really bullish. But this is kind of an old like pivot point. Like you had resistance here, it broke the level, and went on to the bear market, and it's gotten rejected around there several times. So I want to see some strength and maybe some consolidation here, but I think Sol is one of the best looking coins out there. It's basically in this big flag, big cup and handle, whatever you want to call it. And whenever it breaks out of this range above 200, I think it's going to be explosive. Anything else you want to add there, Alex?
I mean, it's like I think it's in the perfect flag. Yeah, it's in the perfect flag, and then once we go up, I mean, 500 is in around the corner, right? But yeah, we're all bullish.
Yeah, and I wanted to add down here in the 120s. I don't know if it comes down there again, but I think any pullbacks to 150, I think are a good spot for Sol, given just that it's starting to kind of lead the market. The other chart I've been looking at is Sol versus Doge, and I was expecting a reversal, and it did reverse here. It went to the all-time high, made new all-time highs versus Doge, and it was in this rising wedge. So I thought maybe this was a deviation. And basically, I was trying to decide: do I long Doge or Sol? I was already long Sol, so when I was gonna maybe rotate to Doge. But Alex, I know you've been looking at Doge. Would love to get your thoughts on where you think that goes next.
Yeah. So here, let me share my screen. Yeah, so honestly, I've been looking at Doge for about a few months now, and one of the things that I did look at was this cup and handle that it was forming. I unfortunately did not take a punt here, which probably should have, but
that breakout and retest.
Yeah, that retest. So I was actually, I actually had this is the worst thing. I had about a $6,000 leverage position open here. So it was like at 5x left. So it's supposed to be like a $30,000 bet that never got hit on this retest, right? And that was the unfortunate part. But I mean, from there, it was a nice 41% gain.
What were you trying to bid? What level did you have it at?
I had it at this. If you want to zoom in, right here, right. So I knew this pullback here. I was actually when it was up at 5 in the morning, right, and I was like, all right, right here, and it just kind of slipped away and it ripped. But then I was
So
looking at
you
this
saw
area
it
here.
hit that level and you wanted it to hit that again,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. The
Yeah.
problem with some of these charts, yeah, which was a 718, it always happens, right? So you should have that pull up, and then it'll be the 786. But with a lot of, and here's one of the things that if you guys are trading or starting to trade, is you want to front run some. If you're going to do leverage, you want to front run them because the price action in Blowfin, in Binance, in Bybit, in Mexi, in KuCoin, the futures, the prices are going to be different. They're not going to be the same. So if you're looking at one chart and you're like, okay, this is the area, no, you may not get filled in, right? And so that's that's one of the big problems with that. So just make sure that you front run it a little higher if you're going to do leverage, not financial advice, but that's how you miss one of these insane runs, right? And this is exactly what I wanted. But
Yeah, that would have been a killer trade.
what?
That would have been a great trade.
That would have been, yeah. I mean, it was 30,000, and I would have been up like 14,000 on this one. But it is what it is. You just have to be patient and then find another trade in time. But another thing that as I leveled mapped out before was this area here, right? And this is another place to expect support.
It did
And
already tap there. Did you draw that line before it tapped or after?
no, that line's been there, so I had that already on my
So it might have
board.
already retested that.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if something that we do for the next few days is consolidate sideways, just because of the nice 45% gain that Doge just had, right? So, and then one of the things that I want to see that we didn't see on Bitcoin, right? The 21 MA and the 200 haven't crossed yet, but in Bitcoin they have, so that's why I'm pretty bullish on it in general. But maybe something that I would like to see right now in these areas are maybe like some sort of like a flag here. And then we touch the 21 MA, the daily 21 MA, and then we just continue our run, right? Which this is also making a shoulder, head, and shoulder. This is a bull pattern. So it would make sense if we did like a cup and handle as well. And then we just continue to the next area. And then we start getting very, very interesting levels right here, right? Because we want to break out of this pattern that we've had for quite some time, since 2021. And it's the perfect area to do so. But yeah, it's overall the big picture. It's a big cup and handle, right? Targets right now are about 30 cents for now. We
30 cents. That'd be a massive move for.
Yeah,
It would put on like double-digit billions in market.
Yeah. So that's what I'm expecting for now. It's a good 130% gain, which doesn't mean a lot when you're looking at a goat and a fart coin and a non Genon, but it's still good. I think these are very safe plays. Doji is a very safe play. Sol is a very safe play. I would stay away from ETH. Not a safe play. But yeah, overall, Doji's looking bullish in my opinion. The charts say that it's looking pretty good. So I wouldn't fade. Wouldn't fade this at all. The weekly. Yeah, I mean, on the weekly as well, we got above the 21 MA. I'm sorry, the 200 MA. So that's, again, very bullish. Last time we got above the 200 MA here, we just ripped, right? And then we did that bullish cross with the 200 MA. 21 MA. So overall, very bullish on Doge. Yeah, we're looking good. And now that I have the screen, I do want to share one. Or before we move on, do you have any questions?
No, I think I'm looking for a dip buy on Doge too. I want to get it in size because, like you said, it's not going to do a crazy multiple, but it's just like a safe, supposedly a safer, more stable coin, right? Like that isn't going to rug, and you can kind of sleep on the position. So
exactly.
But I don't know if I want it. I think 12 cents is maybe somewhere I like scaling in, but I was waiting for under 10 cents also, and the market just started pricing in. I think Doge is the new Trump trade because Elon Musk, he keeps tweeting about the Department of Government Efficiency, which the acronym is Doge. So if Trump were to get elected, Doge is going to rip harder than Bitcoin, no doubt. Everything's going to rip, but Doge will be one of the hardest to rip, at least from like a large cap perspective.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just something I'd like to be in, but at the same time, from 14, 15 cents, you start looking at only like a 2x versus like a 3, 4x. But I mean, maybe I'll eat my words, right? And it goes to $1, and I'm gonna miss the run because I was looking for a higher multiple. So
Yeah,
you got to keep an eye on, like, what you want to happen isn't necessarily what's gonna happen. You have to kind of play into what the hand the market is giving you.
yeah, exactly. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, it's just quite it's quite crazy how we've bounced off of this. I mean, it's incredible. We last night we hit the 1330, and then we're up 4 or 5%. But again, we could maybe. I mean, this could just continue to rip up. I mean, look at Sol. Sol just was in a flag, and it didn't care much about. Well, we pulled back yesterday, great, and it's continued to rip. It was a retest for them, right?
Yeah, and that's kind
So,
of, I'm not too concerned when Soul is ripping and everything else is dumping. It seems like people still want to gamble, so I'm not
absolutely, and they need Sol.
that concerned. But
Yeah,
you got to keep an eye on Bitcoin too. Like, it's gonna pull down Soul and
yeah.
some of
I
these.
think, funny enough, I think that Sol might flip ETH, possibly this bull run. What do you think?
I mean, from a performance and metrics, it already has, right. It's got more volume. It's some of the applications on ETH. Just the applications are making more than ETH layer one. So
Yeah,
I
that's
think
insane.
from a metrics quantitative, and then you look at the qualitative, like, ETH just got a little too comfortable. Like, the ecosystem got too rich, or they didn't have that same hunger and drive that they did in the early days to continue innovating. And there's really no reason for it to be still performing the way it does, right? With, well, I don't know, it's like 13 transactions per second, something ridiculously slow.
Yeah,
There's no reason in 2024 to be doing that. And the market's gonna reward teams that are pushing and innovating, and it's gonna punish teams that aren't. So I think that's what we're
yeah,
seeing. But I do, maybe we should look at ETH too, because I do think there could be a contrarian bet. Like, everyone's kind of counted them out, and when everyone the money is made when you go against consensus. So on a consensus trade alone, I feel like ETH could be an opportunity, but I think ETH has just been such a bad performer. Anyone that's longed for any thesis has just been punished by the market. So
yeah,
you're going
for
against
sure.
that.
Yeah, I just want to, just looking at it, I was looking at Solana. I mean, for Solana, just quickly to give you a target. Yeah, I mean, that's a massive flag. That's a massive consolidation area here, right? You've been consolidating
And it
up and
never
down.
broke structure like Bitcoin and ETH, right? Like, it always held
Yep,
its range.
yep. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I regret not getting some $9 Solana.
Well, don't we
It
all?
hurts. It hurts.
Don't we all?
But yeah, I mean, next areas that we could see something like I would say 400. I mean, the 371 is not even a psychological level. I say 500. Solana they're degenerates, and the world's catching up to that degeneracy in general. It's going viral on TikTok. It's going viral everywhere. So it's mega bullish for me. But yeah, so that's what we have. One before we move on to ETH, I do want to talk about Sui and how it's been holding up. I know that yesterday we did talk about Sui, but I had it in this flag here. We want to see on that shakeout. We had that shakeout out, but Bitcoin went all the way down to like 65K, and Sui was holding up. It was holding on its own. There was this nice retest and another pullback here, but from those pullbacks and these rips, that's a 4% rip. Those strong rips, and you see the market's mostly down, right? But everything's recovering in general. But overall, I mean, this is showing a lot of strength, in my opinion. And we touched the 4 hour, the 200 MA, and I think we're potentially in something like this. And then we'll come back in a few days and see how this one played out, right? Or we get rejected here and we continue to go back down. But one of the things I'm seeing is Sui ready to make all-time highs, and that would mean we'll continue to this area here. So I'm still pretty bullish on Sui. We didn't give back that much to the market. We only came down 20% when we did a 4x. So 20% is a really good drawdown compared to that 4x, right? So I think overall we're good. And because of that, I did position myself in some AAA earlier today because I really like this structure. So um, yeah, and here's just quickly to go off of that. I saw this very interesting tweet today, and let me know your thoughts. But it was like, people are still trying to bid on their cats and dogs and whatever, but they don't understand that the new alpha is the AI meme, right? And so
I
that's just to
understood
put
it.
things. What's that?
I said I understood it.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's very interesting to think about, and I'm not sure if the whole market has been able to see that, right? That we
Yeah.
may be in a transition period where we're going to forget about animals, and
No,
we're just going to
I
go
don't
into
think that's
degeneracy of
the case.
AI and memes.
I think the animals are always going to have their place, but if you're talking about like exponential winners, I think the AI meme coins and maybe some AI utility is going to have exponential gains because. So I was just watching the podcast of Mark Andreessen, the guy that sent 50K to Truth Terminal,
Yeah,
and the guy they basically did the whole podcast on it. And this guy, he's in Silicon Valley, he's in the tech world. It's a different world than the crypto bro world. And these guys, when they see an opportunity, they will, like, I'll give you an example. When ChatGPT came out, AI became the highest funded category in VCs by a lot. So I think what you're going to see is you've had funding from VCs and crypto kind of slow down, and they're going to start funding some of these experiments. Like, it's going to open the floodgates of like on-chain agents, more than just meme coins, right? Just AI as a category is going to get more funding, more innovation, and that really strengthens the case for something like a goat, because when more liquidity goes to a category, that liquidity inevitably goes to the leader. So I do agree it is the start of a new meta, a new paradigm. I think it's similar to DeFi summer in 2020. We're kind of in decentralized AI winter. I think that's the start. And but I don't think that means animals are gonna automatically not get a bid. I think animals, they're the left curve. There's the right curve and the left curve, and like the left curve will always want to bid cute animals. So, but actually, now that we were talking about Soul, it got me thinking of like maybe we should start looking at some of the memes on Soul because, and of course, the memes on Sui, which we've already kind of covered, but we haven't looked at memes on Soul. And Soul, think about if it does go from 170 to 400, like we think it's gonna in the next. I think it could do it pretty quickly in the next because the worse ETH looks, the better Soul looks. So it's like a self feeding cycle. And if Soul doubles, what's that going to do to the memes? The memes are going to go absolutely nuts. Whether it's the culture ones or the cute animals, especially the AI ones. So I think, if we have some good memes that are maybe in some discounts and we think they have a strong community and potential for upside, now is the time to start looking before Soul goes into like a crazy move like we think it's going to do. What do you think about
right.
that?
No, I mean, no. That I think that's a really good thing to do is to start looking at what has potential, what has a strong community, what has holders, what is a cult like, essentially what is a cult like community, right? I think that's
Yeah.
probably one of the biggest things. And then yeah, it would be to front run that big move because you're absolutely right. I mean, once Solana starts making higher highs, yeah, just imagine what probably every shitcoin is probably just going to go ballistic on Solana. Not every, but most of them, right?
The good ones.
The good ones, yeah. And it's probably, if we do get a pullback, then it's probably time to start dollar cost averaging, right? But yeah, I was looking at ETH right now. I think this is impossible. I don't see this happen. But we are doing like a little bit of a flag here. We've been respecting this trend for quite some time. Maybe pull back here, and then maybe some news comes out for ETH. But overall, it looks bearish. Like on the 3 week, we're below the 21 MA. On the 1 week, what is this? Like this does not have bullish structure, you know. The on the weekly RSI, like we want to pull back. I mean, we are holding the 21 MA, which is the 200 MA, which is still a good sign. It's fairly bullish, but you know, if whatever what you just said about VCs funding whatever with AI, and if they decide to look into
That's
ETH,
going to happen on Sol. It's not going to happen on ETH. It can't. It's literally not possible on ETH.
Then I don't really have any reason to hold ETH at this point. Yeah, there's no reason to be in it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I have some ETH.
yeah, it's very, very archaic. I did tell you to move that to Doge. It was a way better performer. But yeah, that's how ETH is looking. I mean, let's look at that. It's just sad. It's like it's kicking rocks. It's not doing anything,
Yeah, but that could be opportunity. I think.
Yeah. Maybe.
Versus Bitcoin. Let me take a quick look at ETH BTC because maybe that's giving us
go for it.
A better picture of what's to come. So let me know if you see my screen. Whoops. Yeah, you see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah, so I think another, just to wrap up the point on Sol, like this is real economic value, so transaction fees plus MEV. So basically how much money people are making off the network, and it just saw an all-time high. Jito, we should definitely look at Jito because half of this is Jito, which is a MEV block builder / liquid staking provider. Like if you don't know what any of that means, it's just they make more money when there's more fees like this. And Sol hit its highest weekly real economic value activity in its history. More network activity means more demand for Sol if it's used for fees and staking. Historic highs in economic value attract bullish investors, driving up price. So this was yesterday, and or this morning. So it's not a surprise to see like this, right? And basically what you're seeing is a rotation from ETH to Sol, because this wakes some people up, right? Like this is just a taste of what it could do. What if this is the new normal, right? What if this is what it's able to sustain? Now, I'm not saying it is, but that's what people think when they see this kind of stuff. Now, ETH BTC, it's got to be the most depressing chart in crypto. Just a downtrend since the merge, since they transitioned to proof of stake, I believe, which I think was a big mistake because that just basically put them in the same league as everyone else in terms of like security and like but anyways, without going into too much of the tech, I think that was a turning point, obviously. And since then, you're just in this big bearish trend, right? This is on the 2 week. Now, I don't see any signs here. I mean, unless maybe you think this is like a range and it's starting to test like the top of it. But if anything, it looks like it's going back into the range. So I don't think that's what's going on. I think I really could see it coming down to 3 versus 0.03 versus Bitcoin, which would be from its recent high. We could take this one from 0.88. This is the 2021 high. That would be a 65% drop versus Bitcoin, which obviously has been doing pretty stellar. Well, let's zoom in here if there's any signs of life. bearish on the weekly, bearish on the 5-day, 3-day. It's just a straight line down, right?
It's one of those shit coins that you buy and then you just get rugged. It's exactly what it's looking like.
Except it's the second largest crypto. And we're below the monthly open. So, yeah, I mean, just no bid in sight for ETH. The ETFs have really underperformed. But, yeah, I think it's time to start looking at memes on Sol. So I don't think I have any on this watch list, actually. I think the main one we want to look at first, the one that I've been bullish on the longest, is Popcat. And I remember Popcat was one of the few outperformers, I think 2 or 3 days ago. So it's interesting to see these patterns, right? Like the market kind of tells you, because memes now, the fact that Popcat was catching a bid to me is like smart money was getting in exposure to the Sol ecosystem.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Alex?
Yeah, no, I mean, Popcat is probably one of the most popular ones, famous ones, and even newbies will probably start getting into Popcat, right? So it just makes sense how the price action has been going for Popcat, and yeah, I mean that's looking like a really nice flag. It's respecting.
Yeah, this looks really. I mean,
take
this thing looks ready.
Yeah, take the target. See what we're looking at.
So in this very bullish trend above the moving averages, where should we take the target from? From here or from here?
From both. I'd say do both. One that's long term.
Let's just do the most bullish one.
Yeah.
So this is going to 240, and I don't see why not. I think the tricky part here is figuring out where to enter. I'd say like maybe anywhere around here.
That's if we. I mean, that's doubtful, dude. It looks like it wants to go again.
It just looks like a more bullish version of the Sol chart, right? Without all the bag holders.
So just if you look at something, and this is very interesting, look at double click on the stochastics RSI. I mean, look at that. All right, so you see how it's been going down, but the price has been going up.
Yeah,
that's mega bullish.
Yeah,
that's mega. I mean, at least from looking at charts, to me, this is not going to pull back. It's just going to continue to go.
Yep, and I agree. I mean, I think you just gotta, if there is a pullback, you just gotta ape. And my long-term targets for this were like $5. So it might be time to get back in this. And
yeah, probably.
The other, I mean, I think GOAT is becoming now Sol Beta. I mean, it's denominated in Sol. And yeah, this thing's just been an animal. It's been a literal beast. At this point, I don't even. It's pretty much on its way to $1 billion.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's crossed the psychological level of 500 million. So I think in terms of like an entry, if you didn't enter already, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe here 555 or the mid from the last impulse, which is a shakeout below 500 million. But like we said, AI, it's becoming the leader. AI meme coins, that is. It's becoming the leader of the new leading narrative. And it's been a crazy ride with GOAT. I think if we got to zoom in a little bit, and it's really just stuck to, if you play this hourly trend line, you could have really killed it trading around this, just buying when it's under, selling when it's over. Right now it's over. I mean, buying on the retest actually. So there's blue 12-hour EMA on the hourly, and we're kind of following that trend. So my take is we just continue on the run. And you got to remember, the bigger the market cap, the more size that tends to ape in. Like if you're aping in 10 million, maybe not 10 million, maybe like a million, right? It's much easier to bet on this going from 700 million to a billion than it is from like, betting at 200 million that it gets to a billion. So I think overall, very bullish. My near term target is a billion. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, it's heading there. I mean, we're only 300 million away from a billion. And
Yeah.
the it's crazy to think this came out almost a week and a half ago, right? And
Only in
this is
crypto, man. It's absolutely nuts.
yeah, and then yeah, I mean, I'll show you what I see here, and if we
Yeah, this
yeah, I
is
mean,
wild.
I kind of have the exact same thing. The only thing I would say is we would probably hit. I don't think we've seen a retest on the 53 million market cap, so I would maybe say a retest around the 50 million market cap. But
Yeah.
if not, I mean, if we don't even get a retest, we just continue to rip. We may not even get it, like I said, but if we do, maybe that's a good entry position. But overall, this is ready to cook.
Yeah. And
Let the
then
boat cook, you know.
the other one we were looking at yesterday was Fartcoin. Uh, this thing, I said it was going to be the premier goat beta, and that's exactly what it's starting to act like. Um, Switch over to market cap. Yeah, I mean it's on the way. I think this was we spotted same type of pattern here, uh, rising triangle, and it's on its way. I mean it's up 57% in the last 24 hours, while goat is up 39%. So I think you want it. I want to see it be more explosive than that if it's going to be beta to goat, but overall, you know, definitely looking like some people are realizing that this is connected to goat. And I also saw a tweet that it was second. It had the second highest mind share growth on from Kaito AI. So um, yeah, I don't really know how to play this one at this point. I think you said you took a trade on this one also, right, Alex?
Yeah. So they're taking a trade on the retest at around 30 million. So that wasn't a bad one. So yeah, been holding it there. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't a big trade, but it's still something there. But
Yeah.
overall, it's bullish. I mean, I could looking at it right now.
Let's see if we were to take a target from the first impulse. I think 80 million seems like
Yeah, yeah,
where
probably.
80. I got 81.8 is where the fib extension goes
Yeah.
to, and I think that's probably a decent area. But I could also see it pushing to 100 and maybe some profit taking there. So it just remains to be seen. Like you really, once you're in a winning trade, you kind of just have to keep an eye on it, see how the chart's developing.
Yeah. So yeah, for this one, 50 million. I mean, we did hit 50 million, and then we had us or 60 million, and then we sold off all the way to 40 million, and then we came back up. So yeah, I mean, psychological levels, we'd say 100 million. It's gonna happen sooner or later.
Yeah, and I think you want to see it hold that
Yeah.
$50 million psychological level. I think if you go below, you're going below this initial all-time high, and I think that might be bearish. So as like a new setup here, but you do have some demand here at 40 million. So you know that's kind of how I would play it, but tough one to find an entry now if you didn't watch our setup yesterday.
Yeah.
Uh, and I had a couple other like AI meme coin type plays. Um, this is a virtual protocol. Have you heard of these guys, Alex?
Yeah. I did hear virtual.
So they're not a meme coin themselves, but they let. If I think I actually haven't even looked at the website, but I believe they let people launch on-chain agents,
Hmm.
and they launched. I think the first one was this one, Luna, and this one caught a bid with along with like a lot of the other agents, right? Um, but I'm not as confident in these. I don't know if they have the staying power that Goat does. They don't have the lore. They don't have the billionaire that invested in them.
Are you talking about Virtual Protocol?
Virtual Protocol.
Wow, that's kind of blowing my mind. I had this one on my list early March, and then it ripped pretty nicely from the bottom. So it's kind of frustrating. But yeah, I
Well, in
wasn't
March
expecting
it
this.
pumped and then it dumped at 30 mil. Now it's back
Yeah,
at
I was
200.
looking at it. Yeah, I was looking at it around 10 cents, and then that beauty came down. I didn't realize it was going to do this big of a move, but I mean, this just goes to show like this is what accumulation looks like at the bottom, right? And then
Exactly.
you go
And then I
through
think
there.
this is if I'm looking for like non-meme coin plays, this is the type of structure I'm looking for, like
Yeah,
sideways, like clear base of holders of price. And all you need is some volume to pick up or a catalyst like Goat was for this, and people realize what it is because Create and Co and AI agents. It's a cool little use case a week ago, but now this is like, oh wow, this is the future.
yeah.
Uh,
Wow.
so we might mess around with this, see if I can create an agent. But the one that they did create was Luna, and it kind of had its run. I don't know. I mean, the chart it's kind of all over the place right now. It looks like it may be consolidating, but I don't like these wicks. Like, doesn't it looks like there's some profit taking going on? So I think maybe if you're bullish on this, like somewhere in this area, like under 40, under 50 mil, maybe.
Wait,
Uh,
wait. The market cap is 13 mil.
yeah, I have no idea which market cap is right, but
Yeah, because I'm looking at Dex Tools. It's saying that it's 13 million market cap.
oh, okay. So this is just wrong then. So then, yeah, it'd be like a 10 mil.
Which is not a bad place to get in, really, especially for this sort of thing.
Maybe. I think there's just been a lot of AI meme coins that have come out, and I don't know. Well, I don't think all of them are going to make it. I think most of them
Definitely
aren't going
won't.
to make it actually. So that's why
So
my
that's it.
biggest bet is Goat. But there are, some of them are going to potentially do something.
Yeah, no, this is a good point. If in the case that we do get a shakeout and we get a really bad shakeout, um, it would be perfect to see which projects die out and what's irrelevant and then what's relevant, right? So I think that would be the perfect time to start bidding on the ones that you're truly bullish on.
Yeah. Should we just continue looking at the AI meme coins? I got a couple other
Uh,
ones here.
let's for we can kind of quickly go through them, but I saw that you had Bitcoin, you had Bonk. So let's just kind of quickly go through the AI ones, and then let's look at the other ones, the other big ones.
Well, Genon was the second biggest one, right? It'll be interesting to see if Farcoin is able to flip Genon. I think that would really accelerate kind of like its acceptance as a beta to go. But Genon is looking okay. Um, you kind of had a little bit of a breakout here. It was obviously a wick, but I still don't understand what this thing is. If I'm being honest with you, but the chart it's looking kind of bullish,
Yeah. So
and
here,
it's
let me share my screen really quick, and then let
yeah. The
me
only thing
let me
I'll
show
say
you.
before I pass it over is it's rejecting right at the 0.5, and basically 100 million is a psychological level, right? Above 100 million, Valhalla. Below just McDonald's.
McDonald's.
So
Yeah.
that's what I
All
see
right.
there.
So we actually did put this one out on our Telegram, so you guys were following. I had this area here, this box being the area of accumulation, right? So I did send it around here. So we were at something like this. We broke out, we came back, and this was again accumulation area. So I said anywhere in this box will give you good gains. So make sure to follow us on our Telegram. And then we did go on a on a 1x tear in literally a few hours. And then what I'm seeing right now for this one, I'm still seeing great market structure for this one. And all I saw was just a retest, right? The breakout retest. And then now it's just time for continuation. We're making higher highs. And, for me, the next levels are going to be 500,000. At
Really,
least that's what, yeah. I see
you mean a
250
quarter million?
first,
Yeah,
quarter million. But then afterwards, once people start seeing this,
quarter billion.
they're going to go to 500,000. So to me, this is a pretty easy 5x in general, because again, what are you going to see? GOAT is going to start pulling price all the way to billion. Fartcoin, then we have Flavia, then we have a bunch of others that have come out. But what's the second that everybody knows? Or I'm sorry, most people know. If they go
Fartcoin.
right now on CoinMarketCap and they decide to look up what's the biggest market cap and the second biggest? The second biggest is Genon, right? So I guess it doesn't matter what it does or what it doesn't do. It just matters that it has a cult, a following, right? And that's what they have. They have a lot of coals that are supporting this. They're tweeting 24/7, and they're not going to stop tweeting until it reaches 500 million. So overall, to me, this is bullish structure. We may go sideways here, maybe a little longer, or maybe not. Maybe this is just a retest, and then we continue to rip. Let's see, 2 hour. Yeah, I mean it's we're making higher highs on the RSI, and people want it. Apparently, they don't want it to go below 60 million. So I wouldn't fade on this one. Let's just say worst case scenario, we do just go to 250 million, but I mean it's held pretty strong at 60 million, right? We did hit 200 million. We came down to almost 40 million, and then we just kind of bounced from there. It means that people want it, right? If they didn't want it, they just sell it off. But mm-hmm.
Think about the context of the last couple of days, right? Like GOAT basically went up 300%, and Genon went down and then sideways. What does that tell you? That means money rotated out of Genon to GOAT, and they realized that they're playing some beta shit when they should be betting on the leader. That's what I see.
Probably.
Now, does that mean that's the way it's going to stay? Absolutely not. Is there a catch-up play? Maybe. Am I buying? Not here. I might buy at 80 million. I mean, are you buying this?
I took a trade. I did take a trade last night around here, just like we were talking. I bought it around here. Did like a 60%. What's that?
60 million?
60 mil, yeah. I did write it up all the way to, was it like 100? But then I sold off just because it was showing some sort of weakness. So I didn't like that. So I let it go. Just took some profits. But it's again, what do we talk? We're talking about what is this? This is a week old, right? So again, there's still time to. We still have to see how all the altcoins sell, because like what just blows my mind is, what is this? Like, where's Flavia? Where the hell is Flavia? Yeah, look at this. Flavia is at a 52 million market cap right now, right? And this just came out at midnight or yesterday, right?
Wow.
It's at a 50 million market cap, and it did not, and it's holding. And this is the craziest thing. For Fartcoin, we saw a dump, right? We saw it come back down a few times. For this one, no. I mean, look, we literally held the 38 million market cap, and we've been holding there since. So it's just very interesting to see price action with a lot of these. Some are pulling money out of, and I'm pretty sure a lot of them are pulling money out of Genon, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's still holding its price range. If it starts to break lower than like the 60 million, 50 million, then yeah, I think that one's done for sure. But if it's going sideways, maybe they're just using that money to play, casino with other coins. But
Yeah.
again, like, what is this? Like, I don't understand. Like, this is some insane
What
price
I
action.
saw in one of my group chats is that the founder of Anthropic, which is one of the biggest large language model developers, apparently this was launched by one of the founders there. So that is a narrative that I can understand and see other people bidding
Hmm.
more so than like Genon, which I haven't seen anyone explain what it is.
Hmm.
Like,
So that's the
so
thing. I
maybe
mean, and I think that's what makes it kind of unique. It's a cult thing. You don't really have to understand it. You
well,
just,
they
you know
say
what I mean?
it's the AI's cult. Like if humans have a cult, the AIs have one too. But
There you go. And I think that they're gonna run off that narrative, and if people like that narrative, then they'll continue to eat it up. But I mean, this is interesting. Flavia's at 53 million market cap. Fartcoin is at what, like 60?
Farcoins has been a slow, steady grind up.
Yeah, but it's crazy because Farcoin, it took a while to get to where it's at now, and then you know then we have Flavia that just took less than a day to get to that market cap.
But to me, this is more sustainable at 50 mil than a Flavia because you've had a lot of
Uh,
quick
I
profit.
mean, I mean, to be
But it just
honest with
depends on
you,
the strength of the narrative too, right?
yeah, I mean, this is what blows my mind. Usually, most coins will just drop back like 80%, but this we went up to Flavia went up to 59. It did a 30% dump, and then it just continued to rip. And it just made a higher high afterwards. So
Yeah,
eh, I don't honestly. It's too overwhelming to kind of see what coins are going to do what and which ones are going to dump and which, you know what I mean. But
you
the
just got to stay
important thing,
perpetually online and
yeah,
see
literally,
what's
you just have to
happening.
live online. But for sure, Goat, Genon, and Fartcoin are probably going to be the big runners.
Yeah, I
This
have one more actually that I think could join like those big fours. Uh, and I pulled up because you mentioned if you go to the CoinGecko AI meme section, right? Which I think is a great point
Yeah,
because people are looking at like, oh shit, I don't want to miss this narrative. I don't want to miss this meta. What do I bid, right? Do you see my screen?
yeah,
So, I mean, this is beautiful to me. This is the whole AI meme coin market cap is 2 billion. Okay.
in
If
two
you
weeks.
compare that in 2 weeks out of nothing, just poof, 2 billion. And you compare that to other memes, we were talking about animal memes, but this thing isn't even bigger than one animal meme. It's just, and it just doesn't make, like, betting against this trend doesn't make any sense because the whole space is still smaller than WIF, which is one meme coin. Okay. And then GOAT, it's not even in the top 10 yet, which I could definitely be, so I could see it being a top 5 meme. So that would bring it to at least 3 billion, 2.5 billion, which is like a
Yeah,
5x from here. That's near term. And then, you look at the AI memes, and what I like to do is like I like to sort by gains and by 24-hour volume. So gains, GOAT is leading. It's still the leader. Act, that one was a crazy one. I don't even know what they're doing.
yeah,
Fartcoin, Shiggin, AI with daddy issues. Like what? Uh, oh, this is a different GOAT. Interesting. This is a different goat. This must be the old goat. Wow. So, but the other thing I like to look at is volume. So, volume, you have, holy shit, Turbo's about to hit a billion. Dang. I just saw this
easily.
thing at like 600 million the other day. Similar
Uh,
narrative, AI meme coin. I think an AI thought of it, or I'm not sure. Uh, but Flavia's third, 117 million in volume. And that is definitely something to keep an eye on if it's able to sustain that kind of volume. Uh, I mean, this does seem I don't want to say toppy, but it's definitely not trending anymore. And you've gotten a. I think you're gonna get some entries on this. I don't know where,
Oh,
but
Flavia.
yeah, I think it's. It looks like there's
I,
you're getting some profit taking here,
I hope
but
so because that thing is looking like it doesn't want to stop.
it did bounce off the 0.38, which is usually pretty bullish. That it doesn't want to really give you an entry. As I speak, it's ripping.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, it's
So
crazy.
I mean, maybe this is the chance to get in. I don't know. This is a tough one to play. So one to keep an eye on from a volume perspective. Then non, still doing 100 million in volume. So I mean, you might have a point. Like people, it has mind share already, right? Uh, the other one I wanted to look at was slop. It's here 6 in volume. So this one is the whole thing is how Truth Terminals only does text. Slop will do it's doing actual memes. Like it'll design memes. The AI designs actual images. Um, and dang, it looks like I drew some bearish stuff over here, and I was right. But so me personally, I'd rather bid like a Flavia than this, right? Because there's just no momentum here anymore. You're swimming upstream in a way. Now, if I start to see momentum, maybe a flip of 28 million, I'm in. But here, you lose this level. It just looks weak compared to something like a Flavia or some of these other ones, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, I mean, this one is just was this 2 days old? I don't know. There's still, like I said, it's probably I need to see more market structure to even say anything about
Slop's
these.
a veteran. It's 3 days old.
Yeah, imagine that. Yeah, no, I mean, I honestly wouldn't. I would still want to see price action settle down in the next few weeks, months, in order for me to say anything really. But the main ones, like I said, Go, Genon, and Farcoin, and now Act. I don't know what their deal is, but I think those are the big ones. Or Flavia, obviously, because it hasn't gone down. But I mean, Slop is interesting. It just creates AI memes. That's it.
Let's take a look at the website or the Twitter. Slopbot. It's pretty funny ticker.
Yeah,
Posting AI generated memes. So apparently the AI made these memes to the moon. Oink. Well, the memes aren't very funny.
then bearish. Yeah,
Yeah, these aren't very good.
yeah.
Uh, I think I had one more here. Shagan AI with daddy issues. Uh, I think I told you this was the female truth terminal.
I think so. Yeah.
This thing looks. It's got a crazy. This is yeah. It's a very weird chart. Don't really know what to
Yeah,
make of this.
I don't. It's a rising. It's like a rising wedge. Usually they break out pretty parabolic, but I don't even know, man.
I'd say something like this, like upward accumulation. But yeah, this one is interesting. I'm not sure. Not sure about this one. I think. I mean, it's just made all time high recently.
Yeah, how long has it been out?
This one's been out a week or 9 days. So this one's kind of made it, past the. Because a lot of them came out and just died, right? And the ones that made it, they might have something that the others don't, right?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the Twitter. Um, I think this one does have actual AI tweeting. It looks like it's just tweeting dirty talk.
Imagine that.
Um, I mean, I don't know. I don't like jumping in this kind of stuff that that it feels like it could come crashing down. But maybe 15 million. I'll take a punt.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I would probably go with the same thing. Yeah, I mean that's a good support rate. And if it dumps, I mean I could see it lower at that. If you go a little bit higher, a little bit lower. If you bring it lower, a little higher.
5 million?
There. Yeah.
No, if it
Because
dumps that
remember,
much,
like if you look at so zoom out really quick. So if you look at the when it came out, that top would be a good support to enter. There.
yeah, of
Yeah.
course, but I don't think it gets there.
Yeah, you never know. A lot of things you don't think they get there and they do, right? So it's just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. Um, I mean, I haven't made any moves, any new moves. I think I'm comfortable with my positions, and I'm probably more so looking for new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think I'm also paying attention to stuff like that doesn't die, like Shagan, right?
Stuff that doesn't die. Yeah, I agree with
Yeah,
that. It's
that's
better
the
to,
criteria. That's the
yeah,
criteria.
yeah,
But Farcoin, I mean, it's a slow cook. It's a slow cook. It's really been it teased for this breakout so long and hasn't been as explosive as I thought it would be. But yeah, I think there's while people are distracted, there is opportunity in some of the other Solana memes, especially for bullish Solana. One of the ones I like is this one, Fwag, and I think it
fog.
could be the Pepe of Soul. That's really the thesis I'm seeing thrown around,
Yeah,
and kind of ranged here for a while. It broke out. Seems like it's retesting, maybe potential double bottom here. But a lot of smart people are saying this goes to a billion. What do you think? Have you looked at this one?
yeah. I saw this one, and I mean, yeah, it's a lot of big traders that I know that I follow have been trading this one for quite some time, and I mean, look at
Yeah,
that price action. It just does a higher high, doesn't even retest the lower tops. It just keeps going higher. And so, yeah, it's that market structure that says, hey, by the way, we have mad hodlers. How many hodlers does it have?
23,600.
Yeah. So it's one of those coins that's going to stay, and it's probably going to reach a billion in time.
Yeah, I actually
I have
haven't looked
no.
at the website or Twitter, but I've seen the memes. It's got some very unique art.
I remember people talking about fog like a few months ago. I was like, what the hell is that? That sounds dumb. And I just completely
That should have
ignored
been
it.
the first sign to pay attention. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty unique, right? And it's like it reminds you of Pepe, but it's just different enough from Pepe that it's kind of its own thing.
Right. That makes it into a soul looking meme.
Just a Fwag. I mean, they've memed this thing onto everything, so I'm bullish on that one. I don't know how I would look to enter besides just blasting the top.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
it's got a good retest right now that it looks like it wants to continue. So
yeah, looks like it's holding that. I mean, what do you think? I'd love to see your TA on how
yeah,
you
yeah.
like something like this.
Yeah, I was looking at JTO. I have some updates on JTO, but yeah, let me.
Cheeto? Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah.
those guys are legit. They're a real project
Yeah.
making real money.
So yeah, one of the things that I was looking at for Goat was this rising channel. Obviously, we did break out. We broke back in, and then I think we're just going sideways right now. Sideways for that flag. Make a flag here, right, and then continue
Yeah,
to rip. Yeah, then it's. I mean, if and I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, if we're gonna take it from this to this, I mean, we're gonna look at 1.25 billion in no time. So keep an eye on that. And then you said FWOG, right?
yeah. FWOG.
one. I didn't think it was going to be, I thought it was going to be a higher market cap, but 230 seems pretty healthy, you know?
For the
230.
amount of memes and like people you see posting about it, it seems
Yeah.
kind of low.
All right, let's see. It's one of those things, it's slow cooked too, you know?
It's
It
low
likes
cook.
to, it likes to take its time, you know, because it took its time from August 26th all the way to September. So it's like a month of accumulation here. And then it did another leg, and then just a few weeks here, and then it continues. So, and to me, that's bullish. I mean, that's an entry already. Like that's a retest, right? We retest it. All right, we continue to go to its designated target, which is what's the designated target? 37 cents. All right, and that's from breakout. And that would be like, let's see. Yeah, from breakout, that's like another 70%. So, I mean, and again, the market structure on this one I really like. It's just look sideways. There's no craziness, you know. It's very straightforward. So it's nice to see something normal, you know, unlike fart or go or some insane shit that we've seen. But yeah, overall, I like that one. That one's bullish.
Maybe we've been going for over an hour now, but maybe one last one.
Yeah, let me look at. I was looking at JTO earlier, but this one. I mean, look at that. This one has not made. This one's ready. Last higher high we had was at $5. Currently, it's at $5.20. Crap.
No, it's at 220.
And I'm saying last. Oh yeah. The last one was at 5. Yeah, 220. And we've been holding this trend, right? Look at that trend, and right now we're flagging. So. And then with us being, mega bullish on Solana, I mean, so that's first targets. We break out of this. To me, we could see two scenarios. We could see this first scenario, which is $7. And I don't know if you like my next scenario, but the next one is, $9 to $10. Potentially, this could be making like a double bottom, and which is why I'm taking like from.
Kind of reminds me of the Sui chart before it broke out.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, that's actually true. I didn't think about that. You're right. It does look like a Sui chart, and right now wouldn't be a bad time to bid. But yeah, essentially we have this wedge here that wants to break out, and we've held support strong there. So. I mean, look at that. Oh, crap. It's looking juicy. I like this one a lot. Once we break this one, we're gone. And I could see this as a $10 coin. We've been consolidating for how long? We've been consolidating since July, right? And this one's ready to spring up. The stochastics are looking very bullish. Let's see. Yeah. I would be. This would be a big thing. We need to get above the 21 MA, right? So this is an important level. Anything above $32.39 and closing on a weekly, we're going to the moon. So yeah, that's one of the last ones I've been looking at. I gave you my Sui. I'm still bullish on Sui. Oh, AAA. I wanted to kind of talk about that one really quick. AAA levels. Okay, so if you're still bullish on animals, keep an eye on this one. But we did hit the 786 here. We went a little lower, right? But we are holding a lot around this support here. So I've said this before. Any entries around this area is good. I've already entered it around like 66. So, we'll see what happens. There is bullish divergence. On the 2 and the 4 hour, right? Look at that. We're swinging very low. We're making lower price action. RSI staying steady, right? So, I decided to take a punt in the case where we see SUI break out, which is something I'm expecting in the next few days because it's pushing power here. To me,
Yeah,
is looking
it's looking a lot better.
is looking a lot better. It's looking very strong, and so that's my last one for SUI. Do you have any last ones? Anything else you wanted to add?
Actually, I want to take a look at Jito
Yeah,
also
go for it.
because I think with our thesis on Solana, with it kind of showing itself as a leader, you want to start looking at some of the strong alts in Solana. You see my screen?
Yep.
And yeah, this is Jupiter. I won't do a detailed deep dive on this, but just right away, like sideways, looks very bullish. I'd say maybe a double bottom. And let's see which other. Yeah, and Jito is one I've liked from the beginning. I bought it. Had a pretty good trade when it first came out. From like bought it at 2 and it went up to like over $5.
Yeah.
And you're still below the monthly open. But it's looking really good. Uh, hasn't flipped bullish yet on the 3 day. Yeah, so similar to you, I want to see it get above some moving averages, but I think from like a zoomed out perspective, it looks like this could be a potential bottom.
Yeah.
The only thing with plays like this is like you're just gonna have to be patient on it, right?
Yeah. It's. I think this one would also be one of those safe calls. With Solana, with Doji, and Sui. Do you want to look at Aptos? I haven't seen Aptos.
Yeah. So you break out of that and maybe retest the monthly open. Aptos.
Perfect, dude. Aptos did the retest, man. Like we were talking about before. It's ready.
Yep. So this is a good spot. This is the spot we were looking at, right?
Yep. It hit 960 and should be, if we get above the 21 MA on the 21 MA on the 12 hour. In general, if we just hold this area, the $9 area, I think we're bullish.
Yeah. It's looking really good. I think one more I want to look at is Retardio. Because, and maybe, yeah. Yeah, we'll just look at Retardio. Have you seen the tweets from the Retardio people?
No, I haven't.
These guys have really taken over. They are definitely a cult. I think I'm bullish just on the people. They seem like they figured out how to market themselves. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
It looks like you're retesting this old all-time high here. Kind of had like a deviation. I think anywhere 100 above 100 mil, I'm a buyer. Yeah, but I'm gonna be doing a deeper dive on memes, uh, especially now after looking at like Solana, how good it's looking.
Yeah.
But stuff like Retardio, like this to me is super bullish here. Basically flagging.
I mean, honestly, I would say right now is the buy. I probably wouldn't wait. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's probably down just because Bitcoin's down, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. It's perfect retest. It's holding structure. A lot of buyers stepped up at around 100 million market cap. I mean, yeah, no,
Exactly.
this is looking really, really good.
I think this could be a 250 in no time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, super strong move. Like cup and handle. I think it's going to do a cup and handle and go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of opportunity, I think. And I'd rather bet on something like Fog and Retardio versus the newest Solana meme. Another one I like is Moo. So it's all in things have been around multiple months. This one's been around since March. Things that have built a community that have sustained kind of mind share and attention. Yeah, what do you think of this one, Moo? It's basically Moo the bull.
Yeah. I remember I got rugged on a Moo on base. Never looked at a Moo again.
It's so funny. You bought the
Yeah,
wrong
so
Moo.
I got the wrong Moo. As always, man. As always, always stick with the Moo Solana with the Solanas. Wait, what? Hold on. I have Moo and Solana as a 5 million market cap. I'm looking
No,
at the
that's the
wrong
wrong
one.
Moo. It's 130 million.
All right, hold on. 130. Okay, scared the crap out of me. I was about to put in a lot of money there. Yeah. Do you know if Moo was an airdrop?
No.
Okay. No, overall
This,
looking bullish too.
yeah, this rounded structure is really bullish.
Yeah, the rounded bottom. Yeah, and it's got like 65,000 holders. If it wasn't an airdrop, that's really good.
Yeah, I think in stuff like in the 100 million to $200 million range, it's just you got to go back to where you think things are going. Like it might be expensive, but we started at the beginning of the show, we're bullish Doge, right? Doge, if we think Doge is going to 60 million, then why is Ton Coin in the meme coin category? That's so funny. They think it's a meme coin. But
funny.
the whole space is 74 billion. There's going to be multiple memes hitting a billion. And that's kind of what I would bet on. Those memes are probably going to be, most of them are going to be on Sol. And then you have to, if that's your backdrop, then stuff like Retardio, Fog, like strong memes with strong communities, that's what you want to be betting on. So I think, I'll definitely be watching these charts and maybe diversify a little bit from just AI memes because I do think it's getting kind of crowded. Other than Goat, right? I think Goat's probably going to keep doing its thing.
Yeah.
But I think some of these, you're getting an entry on some of these just because people are selling to chase newer AI stuff when, you have established memes like these that are probably a good risk return here. And I didn't even see this on the weekly. Looks even more bullish though.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you are right about doing that, looking at some Sol memes, seeing if their structure, if the community is still strong, because they're gonna come back eventually. Everyone's just probably hyped right now off the AI meme crack, and then once they're done with that, they're probably gonna go back into they're gonna understand that the big ones, the big AI memes lead the way, and then they're just gonna go back to the regular old ones. And yeah, for sure, I think that for some that are maybe 100 mil, we could definitely easily see a 10x for some of these memes too.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that about wraps it up for today. So thanks for tuning in. We're gonna keep an eye out for the next meta. I mean, I think the AI meme coin, it feels crowded. It feels like a little bit diluted. But then, you look at some of the charts and they just don't look like they want to dip. So we just got to keep our focus on where the attention and liquidity is, because that's where where the opportunities are.
Definitely.
All right. So with that said, thanks for tuning in, and